Professor葉芷樺also said Hong Kong can continue to be the hub that connects mainland China and overseas, helping more overseas Chinese to search for their family route in the future. SakuraIp TVB News.
Hello and welcome to TVB News. Xia Baolong, director of the Hong Kong and Macau Affairs Office, continued his Hong Kong tour for a third day. He tapped views from the care teams and other community organizations on district-level governance with a trip to Lion Rock Park. Legal Week, which is organized by the Law Society of Hong Kong, began today. Overseas, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has unveiled a long-awaited post-war plan for Gaza, in which Israel would control security and Hamas would not be in charge. Palestinian leaders have rejected the plans, in which the future governors of Gaza would be handpicked by Israel. Israel's finance minister also announced the building of more than 3,000 new settlements in the occupied West Bank, a move opposed by the United States. Meanwhile, truce talks mediated by Egypt, Qatar, and the U.S. is being revived with efforts to halt Israel's offensive in Gaza. Nasri Karim has more. The leaders and top officials of several European countries are arriving in Kyiv to show their support for Ukraine in its war with Russia. In New York, representatives of Germany, Poland, Lithuania said military support for Ukraine must not stop. In Kyiv, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni was joined by European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
If we were to give in,
the UK has reaffirmed their support for Ukraine on the second anniversary of Russia's invasion of the country by reportedly pledging to additionally supply more than £200 million worth of ammunition. But Ukraine is struggling for more aid from the US. NBC News traveled to the front lines and filed this report. And still ahead. Welcome back. Today is the Lantern Festival, marking the 15th day of the Lunar New Year. As per tradition, Chinese people around the world celebrate by partaking in lantern-related activities. Timothy Lee tells us more.
Dance in a very short period of time, and many of them don't dance at all. So, but they have that inspiration and they want to show the people in Kuntong that they can do it. We're just kind of surprised that this dance is very famous around the world, but not in Hong Kong. So I think one of the reasons that we want to bring it to Hong Kong and do it with in the Chinese New Year period.
Besides wishing residents health and happiness on this Lantern Festival, organizers of the popular mainland Subject 3 dance performance said they hope to further spread the popular dance across the world. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
Today is the MTR's Thank You Day, which offered half-price fares to passengers. In Beijing, more than 1,000 lanterns were displayed at an event to celebrate the Lantern Festival. The first 1,000 Festive Lanterns event was held at the Wenyuhe Park in Beijing. The festival comprises 6 themes, including a dragon-themed one celebrating the Year of the Dragon. The largest lantern stands at a height of 15 meters and follows the theme of a light in the new spring. It was made using traditional methods and took 20 days to complete. The organizer of the event said the Lantern Festival is the largest of its kind in northern China and hopes that it is able to combine traditional Chinese culture together with technological elements popular with youngsters. And again, today is the Lantern Festival, a traditional day when families gather. Many of the Chinese diaspora who have moved abroad are passionate about searching for their family's roots. SakuraIp visited one of the families.
Professor葉芷樺also said Hong Kong can continue to be the hub that connects mainland China and overseas, helping more overseas Chinese to search for their family route in the future. SakuraIp TVB News.
There's been a hiccup as a private lander made the first U.S. touchdown on the moon in more than 50 years. The lander tipped over at touchdown and ended up on its side near the moon's south pole, hampering communications. NASA.
We're evaluating
In the U.S., former President Donald Trump claimed that his criminal indictments have boosted his support among Black Americans because they see him as a victim of discrimination. Trump also came out in support of IVF and called on lawmakers in Alabama to preserve access to the treatment after the state's Supreme Court ruled that frozen embryos can be considered children under state law. He made the remarks while campaigning ahead of the Republican presidential primary in South Carolina this weekend. Tracy Furness has more. Over to sports. China has appointed a new head coach for its national football team. And that's the news. Thank you for watching.